And a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Hey all, Rick here from Hamilton Sports Central, and we have another preview. This time it is Calgary Stampeders at the Hamilton Ticats. So we're going to start with the Calgary depth chart, then we're going to take a look at the Hamilton depth chart, and then we're going to take a look at the news and notes. So starting at the boundary side on the offense for Calgary, we have Tevian Jones and Mario Alford, or not Mario Alford, Moose Alford, I should say. Demary, Williams, Fortin, and Bell at center. Akanu at right guard. Coy at right tackle. Burns at wide receiver. Slot back, you have Jalen Philpott. Mills, Chiquette, and McAllister at running back. Quarterback, you have Adams, Loves, Vaughn. And then slot backs, you have Brissett, Brooks, Uju, Tal-Ao at slot back. And then kicker, you have McTabney, Bassett, and McGugan as long snapper. On defense, you have Hicks, Idaiko, Doko, Thomas, Brown at defensive tackle. The other defensive tackle spot is Hills and Hutchins as starter. Malade and Willie as the field side defensive end. Weak side linebacker, you have Wilson and Moten, Lee, Tights, and Ganny, and then Moncrief as the lone Sam linebacker. Secondary, you have Johnson, Alexander, Onyeka, Webb, Miller, McLennan, High and Grant, Labrosi, and Green. Over on the Ticat side, boundary, you have Kenny Lawler, and beside him is Trevor Reed. Revenberg, and making his Ticat debut is Jonathan Dennis, our first-round draft pick this year. Center is Liam Dobson and Chris Kolinkowski. Right guard is Dublin Duguay and Swartout at right tackle. Wide receiver on field side is Kedrick Wheatfall and Tyson Middlemost. Slot back from boundary side is Keandre Smith and Isaiah Wooden Sr. Fullback / tight end is Milanovic Litre, Maximum Mang, and Daniel Bell. Starting quarterback for the Ticats this week is Trey Ford, with Harrison Frost behind him as second string, and third string is Jake Dolagala, aka Short Yardage. Running back is Larry Roundtree III and Johnny Augustine, and then the other two slot backs is Curly Gittins Jr. and Myron Mitchell. Kicker for today is Mark Leggio, long snapper Gordon White, punter is Mitch McCarthy, and then Isaiah Wooden is the kicker / punt returner. On the defensive side, boundary to field, left to right, we have Julian Hauser at defensive end, Miles Fox at defensive tackle, Kendricks and Benton at the other defensive tackle spot, Philip Osai, Isaiah Begna, and Owen Hubert at the field side defensive end. Weak side linebacker, we have Braxton Hill making his return to the lineup with Crook, Baker, and Winton McManus at middle linebacker, and then Stubblefield at Sam linebacker. In the secondary, we have Jamal Peters, Destin Talbert, Stavros Katratonis, my apologies, Robert Pandabaker, and Nichoruk as the field free safeties. Bynum and Horrell as the halfbacks on the field side, and also Walton as well. We have a 3 p.m. kickoff today. Also going over to the news and notes. So this rivalry has been dating back to 1961. This is the 106th regular season matchup between Hamilton and Calgary, and Calgary's 55th visit to the East to play the Ticats. Led by Vernon Adams, Calgary swept the 2025 series over Hamilton, never trailing in either game. The sweep included a win at Tim Hortons Field, but just one win in the last 3 trips. Since 2017 at Calgary is 9-5 versus Hamilton, and 9 of the 4 games have decided in the last 3 minutes. Fourth quarter importance. Stampeders have outscored their opponents in the fourth quarter in 6 of their 7 games thus far, and by a plus 37, 86, and 49 record scoring margin. By contrast, Hamilton has been held scoreless in the fourth quarter in the last 4 games. The Ticats have been outscored in the fourth quarter in all of their 7 games. Trey Ford, he'll be making his 26th career start, 11-14, 440%, and third for the Ticats in this game. It'll be his 5th start versus Calgary, 2-2, matching the most against any club earlier this year. He rushed for 109 yards, recording his second 100-yard-plus season, and only 19 quarterbacks in the CFL history has had multiple 100-yard games. It was the 14th time in Ticats history that they've rushed for 100-plus yards. Vernon Adams 5 games in a row. Coming into this week with at least 3 touchdowns in 5 consecutive starts, only 2 other quarterbacks have accomplished that. Doug Flutie in 93 and Kerry Joseph in 08-09. Last 3, first 2. The team record for consecutive with 3+ touchdowns is held by Toronto at 6 in a row in August-September 1990. Adams Jr. continues historic start. Vernon Adams Jr. has been on a tear to open the regular season, throwing 20 consecutive touchdowns without an interception. Adams has started 11 times versus Hamilton in his career and is 7-4, with his overall of 52-32. Azai Wooden ranks number 2 in all CFL in 2026 with 2 kick return touchdowns and is now up to 4 for a CFL Hamilton career. In just 22 career games, a frequency of 1 touchdown every 5.5 games, that puts him 1 back of Ron Howell and Marcus Thingpen for the top 5 kick return status. He had a standout punt return performance last week, recording 148 yards on 4 punts. His day was highlighted by a 100-yard punt return touchdown. McAllister makes CFL history. Tariq McAllister became the first player in CFL history to score a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a kick return touchdown, all in the same game. Stampeders special teams duo setting the pace. Keelan Thomas and Ujay Gelato have been the 2 difference makers on special teams for Calgary. Thomas leads the special teams with 12 defensive tackles, or 12 special team tackles, while a judo sits tied for second with 11. Judo also owns the highest single game season tackle record, recording 4 in week 4. Hamilton's defense holding down strong, while Calgary is the top offense scoring. Hamilton is one of the CFL's stronger defensive teams. The Ticats ranked 2nd in points allowed, giving up 27.1 points per game, while Calgary is ranked 8th at 34.9 points per game. Jalen Philpott recorded 128 receiving yards in Week 8 against Winnipeg, bringing his season total to 535. He also has 5 receiving touchdowns and tied for 2nd in the CFL. Ticats defense takes positive from Week 8. Ticats defense is coming off a disappointing loss to Montreal in Week 8, but there are positives to take from the performance. The Ticats held the CFL's top net offense to 347 net yards, Montreal's lowest yardage total so far this season. They also limited Davis Alexander to 187 passing yards, his lowest as a quarterback, and held him without a touchdown for the first time this season. After a strong start, Keandre Smith started with 20 catches in his first 4 games, all passes from Bo Levi Mitchell. Since then, he has had 8 receptions in his last 3 games and 3 in his last 2 contests. Different strengths met in Hamilton. This matchup features 2 teams with contrasting strengths. Calgary enters the CFL highest offense, averaging 39.9 points per game, while Hamilton comes in averaging 23.8 9 points per game, the lowest mark in the league. Hicks joins the sack lead. Clarence Hicks recorded another sack last week, bringing his total to 5, moving him in a tie for a CFL lead. Hicks is on sack pace for 12, his total from last season, and he continues to make an impact in the trenches. Zay Alexander keeps finding the ball. Zay Alexander added another interception in Week 8. Win over Winnipeg since making his debut in Week 4. He's recorded 4 interceptions in 5 games, the most in the CFL this season. Wooden breaks one loose. Zay Wooden had a standout punt return performance last week, recording 148 yards on 4 punt returns. His day was highlighted. Okay, I've already said that. Ticats defense is put to the test. Ticats pass defense will look to limit Vernon Adams Jr. and the Calgary leading pass attack. The Ticats have allowed the second fewest touchdowns in the CFL this season with 10, while Calgary leads the league with 20 passing touchdowns. Calgary's effect in the red zone. The Stampeders have been the CFL's effective red zone team in 2026, also scored on 23 of its 25 red zone trips, good for a league's 79% success rate. I think that is it. That is it for the news and notes. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by and watching today's preview. I will be, win or lose, we will be doing a live stream tomorrow. I'm just not sure because I have other plans to do during the day. But at some point tomorrow, we will be doing a live stream for both games today, the Calgary and Hamilton, and then also the Saskatchewan and Edmonton game as well. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. This is Rick from Hamilton Sports Central, and have yourself a great rest of your day.